You mentioned, what's the right terminology here? Acqui-hire? Acqui-hire?
Acqui-hire, yeah.
Can you explain that? Because I think it's quite relevant. One of the things that happened this past week is OpenAI basically did that with the creator of OpenClaw, right? So maybe can you
Exactly.
quickly share what is this exactly?
Look, I think many people maybe underestimate going for that kind of strategy where you build something valuable, and then the best way to accelerate it is to actually join forces with a larger company that maybe has more distribution or more resources than you have on your own. And essentially for me, I started out with my own website called AI Model Agency, and I started working as a one-man show delivering AI services, AI photography services to fashion brands. But after 2 years doing that on my own, a lot of people started doing the same thing. It started to become more competitive. So I had a choice: sell it, shut down, or join forces. And I was actually trying to sell it, but the buyer didn't want to buy the company. He wanted to buy me within the kind of the knowledge that I have gained from working in that field. And instead of being paid in cash, I was paid in equity, which we don't know actually about Stephen, if he's been paid in cash or equity in OpenAI, right? Is that public or?
I heard some numbers in the sauna yesterday. I was mentioned 30 million, but I'm not sure. I think probably they bought him, like they hired him for 30 million, but I'm not sure about the specific numbers and how and what.
Well, wasn't it like 10 billion?
I don't
No,
know,
no.
Ben. What do you think?
I saw like one rumor was floated around that was around a billion, but then I think it seemed like it was like maybe 200 to 300 billion. But honestly, nobody really knows, right? I think what's his name? Peter Steinhauser or
Steinberger?
something? Peter
Steinberger.
Steinberger.
I
Let me
called him
see what his
Steve.
name
Oops.
is. Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah. I think Peter Steinberger mentioned on the Lex Friedman podcast a little bit of the details, how he was getting courted between Meta and Sam Altman, and I could definitely see Mark having made a crazy offer because he's known to be doing that, and I think he like has acqui-hired people for he acqui-hired Alexander Wang for at Scale AI for like $27 billion or something like that. So it's definitely not far fetched, but I think like the rumors were maybe a couple hundred million, which is still probably the biggest acquisition for a solopreneur. I think base 144 it is. Like they were acquired for couple for like 70 million dollars, but this is like the biggest so far still.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is he the first solo billionaire like indie hacker?
I don't think he's a
Yeah.
billionaire, bro.
Well, he's not a billionaire, but he's probably worth a few hundred. How much was he worth even
He
before?
sold his previous company for 110 million or that ballpark, but it's like also uncertain how much shares he owned in that or like what was the end there. But like he probably worth few like 100 plus, I would say, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't care losing 20K per month on running OpenClaw. That's what he mentioned in this Lex Friedman podcast as well. So um yeah, I think he did well, and he found it exciting to become part of a bigger company, right? Like it's something he didn't done before, and yeah, it's actually a very interesting figure. I love listening to him because he has this exploration mindset of like, oh, I want to go do new things that I've never done before, and one of those is working for a big company, and it's cool that yeah that OpenClaw stays open source. That was one of his requirements. If he gets acquired, OpenClaw should stay open source, and yeah, I think it's also a very good marketing stunt from OpenAI somehow because OpenClaw has been all around the internet. Everyone has been seeing it, and Sam, I think, jumped on that opportunity. I just asked Grok. Grok said the financial details on OpenAI's deal with Peter Steinberger have not been publicly disclosed. Then also mentions some Lex Friedman podcast discussions. He also mentions OpenAI's pitch involved access to computable resources tied to the recent $10 billion deal. Public speculations of the value of Steinberger's deal ranges from 5 billion to over 10 billion. Would surprise me if it's going to be that much. Okay. Well, thanks for an introduction to that topic, Luca. That was a great one. Maybe we
Yeah,
stay
and
in.
just the
Yeah.
last thing on acqui-hires, I did also look it up. I think it's good. Well, 1 in 3 startup acquisitions are actually talent driven, right? Because it kind of makes sense if you think about it, like software engineers are like such a competitive space, and if you're gonna like acquire a company for let's say $20 million and they've got 10 engineers, That's $2 million per engineer. And when you think about the recruiting costs and vetting that they've actually built something great, like acqui-hiring is actually an awesome way to do it. So it makes a lot of sense.
The only sad part is, I mean, looking at it from the crypto lens, with my background in crypto, is you've seen a lot of these projects that had a token and were alive over the last 3-4 years. Build a team around it, build a project around it, build a community around it. The community buys a token, invests in it, thinking it's sort of equity. But then recently you see quite a lot of these acquisitions where a bigger player buys the team but doesn't care about the token, and then the token just goes to zero. So yeah, that's just a little caveat on that front, but that's also the risk of crypto, I guess.
For
Interesting.
sure, you
Yeah.
definitely need to watch terms and conditions with these kind of things, and we don't know actually what the deals of OpenClaw's acquisition are. I would say the track record of OpenAI already having been open source and then finding a way to legally spin themselves into closed source is something a lot of people are worried about. But it would be crazy if they did that. I would say, but who knows what's gonna happen next.